Rahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today the topic that we are going to have is about laboratory apparatus and their uses. Now you all have to perform the experiments in the laboratory. So you must have to know about the knowledge about the laboratory apparatus and that how they are used in the laboratory. So the first one laboratory apparatus over here is test tube, and it is used for heating small amounts of liquid. Means whenever you are going to have a small amount of liquid for heating in the laboratory, you will go for a test tube. And same for boiling tube, that it is also used for heating small amounts of substances, that whenever you are heating small amount of substance or a liquid or a solid, you will go for a boiling tube. Now the difference between boiling tube and test tube is that they are having the difference of a little bit difference of diameter, that over the test tube is bit thinner than the boiling tube. The boiling tube is opening is bigger than the test tube. The next one is beaker. It is used for containing chemicals and liquid substances. It is of various sizes, and whenever you are going to when you are going to contain any chemical in the laboratory, you will use beakers. The next one is conical flask. There are different types of flask in the laboratory for chemicals. And it is conical flask. You can see that it is of various sizes and it is used for containing chemicals or collecting liquids in the laboratory. The next is flat bottom flask. The name is telling the picture of the object that it is flat from the bottom, and it is used for containing chemicals when preparing gases if the process requires no heating. Means if you are preparing a gas and the process that you are using requires no heating, you can go for flat bottom flask. The next one is round bottom flask. Again, the word is telling about the object that it is round from the bottom. It is used for the preparation of gases if the process requires heating. Means when you are preparing gases and the process requires heating, you will go for round bottom flask, and if the process requires no heating, you will go for flat bottom flask. The next one is measuring cylinder. It is also of various sizes, and it is used for measuring a volume of liquid to an accuracy of 1 centimeter cubes. Mean from 1 centimeter means you can measure the volume till 1 centimeter cube in a measuring cylinder, and the above value can be 100 or 250 or 500 ml. They can be of various sizes, but the lowest value is 1 centimeter cube. The next one is burette. It is used for measuring a volume of liquid to an accuracy of 0.1 centimeter cube. Means now you have to remember that if you are going to have an accuracy till 1 centimeter cube, you will go for measuring cylinder, and if you want to have an accuracy till 0.1 centimeter cube, you will go for burette. Pipette. It is used for measuring a specific volume of liquid, for example 25 to 50 centimeter cube. Means they are used for measuring the specific volume of a liquid, and its accuracy is 25 to 50. Now the micropipettes are also used in the laboratory, and they are digital, so their value is very less than this 25 to 50. So the pipette picture is also shown to you people. The next one is filter funnel, and it is used in the process of filtration, and the filtration it is used for separating solid from liquids with the help of a piece of filter paper. Means inside this filter funnel hole, you will place filter paper and then pour your mixture to get separated, so the solid will left over on this hole and the liquid will pass out through this opening to the flask or beaker, that whatever you are using. So filter funnel is used for separating solid from liquids with the help of a piece of filter paper that is fitted inside this filter paper, a filter funnel. The next one is thistle funnel. It is used for transferring liquids into a flask. Means when you are going to transfer the liquids from liquids, you will use thistle funnel, because because the chemical will splash out, and sometime you are using dangerous chemicals, so it will harm you as well. That's why, to avoid from any danger, we are using thistle funnel. The next one is gas jar. It is used for collecting gases. Means when you have to collect the gas, you will use the gas jar. Bell jar for separating an experimental setup from the outside environment. Sometimes our experiments are so important, the readings are so important that the minor environmental factors are also affecting our result. So for these experiments, what we will do, that we will take the bell jar and we will put our experimental setup, means the thing that are related to our experiment, inside it, so that there is no connection of our experimental setup to the environment, and it will cause no error in the results. The next one is evaporating dish. It is used for evaporating a liquid from a solution. And for example, in evaporating a liquid from a solution means whenever you are having a mixture and you want to separate solid and you want the liquid to evaporate in the environment, you will go for evaporating dish. In the next one is crucible. In crucible is used for heating solids over a flame. Means whenever you have to heat solids. For liquids you are using boiling tubes and test tubes and different kinds of flask as well. But when you are having solids, you will go for crucible. The next one is tripod stand. Tri means three and pod means legs. So the word is telling that it is having three legs, and you can see as well it is having three legs, and it is called as tripod stands. It is used for supporting apparatus during heating. Means whenever you are heating something on a burner, on a flame, so you need a support for the apparatus, so that at that time you will use tripod stand. Water trough is used for containing water when collecting gases. Means whenever you are collecting gases from anything, so you have to contain water, so you will go for water trough. Displacement can, it is used to displace liquid to flow out through its spout. It is also a type of it is actually a type of can that in which the water is displaced from its spout. Its spout means the opening it is having, and from here the water is emit out, or any liquid will emit out from the displacement can. The next one is retort stand. It is used for supporting apparatus during the experiments. In retort stand, what it will be happen, that for example, while in the process of filtration, we have to take our filter funnel and beaker at the same time. So it's very difficult for us to handle filter funnel, to handle a mixture that we are pouring inside it, and the flask in which it will go. So at that time we will use retort stand. We will place our filter funnel over there, and we will put our beaker over here, and then splash our, and then we'll pour our the mixture from here into the filter funnel. So at that time it will support our apparatus. So retort stand is used for supporting the apparatus during experiments. The next one is Bunsen burner, and it is a common laboratory instruments used for heating purpose. For example, if someone asks you that what is the most common laboratory apparatus, so you will say it is Bunsen burner for heating. In Bunsen burner you can see the different parts as well, that there is a base, that there is a gas tube, there is a barrel, there is a flame, there is a collar, and inside that collar there will be a air hole. The next one is that the type of flame that is over the Bunsen burner. There are two types of flames, luminous flame and non-luminous flame. Luminous flame, it is yellowish in color and is unsteady flame. It is less hot and it produces more smoke and soot. Luminous flame means it is unsteady, it is unregular, and it will provide you less heat. So and it produce more smoke and more soot. So if you people notice that whenever we are burning the woods, that the flame at that time is yellow and it is having irregular shape, and it is also less hot as well, and produced more smoke at that time as compared to the flame that we are having at homes. So at home we people are having non-luminous flame. It is bluish in color, it is steady flame, it is regular in shape, it is more hot, and it produces less smoke and less soot. Means it is having less smoke. You can see in pictures as well that a luminous flame is having irregular shape, and the non-luminous flame is having a proper a regular shape. So the non-luminous flame is the best flame to use for heating purpose. but the question is that we are giving just gas supply to the burner. So how the two different types of flames will be produced? So on the Bunsen burner, so you can see that there is a collar. So by rotating the collar, you will open or close the air hole. So air hole, the opening and closing of air hole is telling us that which kind of flame will be there on a Bunsen burner. So when the air hole is open, luminous flame will produce, and when the air hole is closed, non-luminous flame will be produced. Next one is the topic is hazardous symbols, because in laboratory when you are working, so to know about the apparatus and their uses, you also have to know about the hazardous substances and the symbols that are being drawn to tell about these substances, because they are dangerous substances, and we have to follow some precautions when we are using them. So the first one is flammable substance. They catches fire easily, for example petrol and alcohol, and you can see the sign of fire as well, that wherever you will see this sign, you will get to know that it is a flammable substance and we have to take it away from the fire. For example, at petrol station you must have seen this symbol. So it means there is petrol over there and it will cause fire, so you have to take it away from the fire. The next one is explosive substance. An explosive substance usually explode when heated or lit. For example, mixture of hydrogen and air means these substances will explode when they are heated. So we have to take it away from heat. This symbol will tell us that this chemical is explosive and we have to take it away from heat. Then the next one is corrosive substance. They can burn your skin and object that comes in contact with them. So we have to handle it with very care. Means strong acid or alkali, and in picture you can also see that wherever it is dropping out, it will removing the part, either it is skin or any other object. So it will burn you up. So you should have to avoid it. The next one is poisonous or toxic substance. You don't have, the word is telling its name, its function, that it is poisonous and you don't have to eat it because they are poisonous and they will kill you. For example, mercury, cyanide and chlorine. And then irritating substance means their vapors, when you will inhale them, they will cause you irritation and they will make you unconscious as well. For example, chloroform, alcohol, bromine vapors and so on. The next one is radioactive substance. They are very dangerous, and the radioactive substance, you can say that radioactive carbon, uranium, plutonium, and they have to be handled with very care because they are emitting dangerous radiations out from them that will harm you. And then the next one is biohazardous substance. They are infectious, for example blood and blood products, and they will cause you infection, so they also have to be handled with very care and you should have to dispose them separately, because the animals that are straying outside, they will also come in contact with them and it will be dangerous for them as well. So that's all about the laboratory apparatus, their uses, biohazardous substances. Hope you people have understand that. So thank you, take care, Allah Hafiz.